Next panel, Instructional Materials Coordinators Association of Texas, Kellie, Skarda, and Matt Tyner.
Confuse our numbers.
Let's see. The math confusion, if we have a list.
Do you have a PowerPoint? Did you want to do your PowerPoint? Okay.
I'm not worried about it.
You
Go
ready?
ahead, Kellie. Yeah.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Kellie Skarda. I am the textbook manager for Goose Creek CISD in Baytown, which is about 20 miles east of Houston. And I'm also the current president of the Instructional Materials Association of Texas. IMCAT's role is to educate textbook and instructional material coordinators in their job duties and responsibilities, and we try to educate them through a summer institute we have every summer across the state. We have regional training, and we also have a state conference in December every year. And I'm going to turn this over to Matt.
That was a mistake turning it over to me, but I'm Matt Tyner from Dallas Independent School District, and I'm the textbook manager there. Handled that, been doing it for 4 years. I had a former life as a principal, assistant principal, teacher, all those wonderful things. But I got to say, this has been a wonderful day. It's been enlightening. I had a few fears. We noticed some things were getting out of their own ecosystems and ours. At one point, we had 3 or 4 elephants in here. I was a little nervous, but nobody got hurt during that. I had a big, wonderful PowerPoint set up, and I thought, you know what, as the day went on, it pretty much blows holes in that. But I'll tell you a little bit, just for those that aren't aware, prior to Senate Bill 6, the textbook manager, textbook coordinator, we were warehousers. We bought books based on numbers of kids in the seats. We bought off the conforming or non-conforming list, and that was it, all in a nutshell. That was a long story short. Now, we've got to have some knowledge of curriculum. We've got to have budgeting knowledge. We've got to be able to work with curriculum folks. We've got to work with curriculum developers. We don't just talk to textbook publishers about if you're going to shrink wrap the boxes or put them in the same, everything on the same pallet. We've got to talk to them about the bundles, and that came up a minute ago, the bundles, and just, we can give a little bit of that as we deal with it. We see bundles in several different things explaining what we deal with on the ordering and EMAT. We get bundles as you buy one teacher set, you get X amount of student sets, that's a bundle. Or you buy X amount of student books, you get X amount of teacher sets, that's a bundle. Or you buy 4-year print, 4-year digital, 4-year print, 8-year digital. There's a variety of bundles. And one things we deal with, and this has come up a little bit earlier today, that we'd like to see is we have bundles, but in addition to that, we have the availability to purchase things as an a la carte items. Kellie and I were talking about it yesterday. One of the things we've run into with we both have the same literature program, and that'll segue into something in a minute. We have the same literature program, and as we're getting to the end of that adoption, if you need teacher material, because that stuff through attrition has disappeared, it is outrageously expensive to buy just the teacher items. So you have to go in and buy the 22 student books to get the free $8,000 worth of teacher material. You can't go buy the teacher material. Now with the math and science adoptions, I actually talked to one of my reps and I said, I want to get some teacher material. Oh, we'll buy the student books. And I said, no, teacher material only is going to be cheaper. They priced it. It was cheaper. So it depends on the adoptions, which way that goes. But we want to be brief. That way she doesn't have to hit her bell on us because it's been a long day. But I want to bring up 3 things we'd like to just get on the table for possibly have some questions. But one, we were ecstatic about the front loading of the IMA funds. That was huge. It was a big deal. There's one flaw in it that needs to be looked at is the timing. We get all of our money, but we've got to get those books on the campuses that fall. So as we got money this summer, I was lucky and fortunate in Dallas, we had local funds. We were able to purchase local funds, reimbursed through the disbursements. Probably 98% of the other districts couldn't do that. So folks are waiting till those funds become available in the summer to buy their books. So they're starting school without instructional materials. So looking at the timing of that, where IMA funds are issued in the legislative year, proclamations are issued in the second year of that. And I think that also would troubleshoot some of the funding issues that has been referenced at the state level when the funds are made available to the state to pay out the disbursements and things. That would push that back, and we wouldn't be in a rush to get the money back from TEA, because I know they're hamstringed on different things. That's one point. Another point I kind of mentioned already, the bundling, getting some things into some a la carte setups to allow us more flexibility in our purchasing. For some districts, they don't have the resources, the time, or the knowledge to go in and buy things on the district side with local funds, or to do the disbursements and get those things. They just go straight EMAT, and what's there is what's there, and that's what they get. And lots of times they can't afford it. So being able to give them that flexibility within the EMAT system to not have to go through the disbursement process, not have to go through the PO process would be good. Because lots of times those textbook coordinators or the newest assistant principal, it's the superintendent, it's whoever it may be. It changes quite a bit. Another thing that's coming up, we just realized this a couple weeks ago, Proclamation 2010 is expiring this spring. That was the last 6-year proclamation. That was the K-12, correct me if I'm wrong, K-12 literature. Those materials won't be called for until Proclamation 2018, which will be K-8 literature. 2019 will be 9-12 literature. So if you have any free with resources, digital online content, those switches are turned off this spring. So if you're running the digital, if you're running the free with, we're going to be paying for those. We ran into this a few years ago with social studies. When we made the switch to IMA, it happened with math consumables. You had math consumables, kindergarten, first and second grade. We were getting those through EMAT free every year. When IMA started, we had to start paying for them at that point. Same with social studies, free with materials, you had to begin paying for those. I'm currently paying for online logins for Spanish because those adoptions have expired. They're no longer bound to the contracts with the state. And so that's a question we kind of raise is what's going to happen then? You know, for example, in Houston's example, they're going digital in the high school. When these proclamations end, where are they going to get the funds to continue those online products when the publishers turn the switch off? And I don't blame the publishers. They've got R&D, and like we've heard all day long, there's upkeep on these online contents. We want them updated. They got to pay somebody to do that. So they're not going to give it to us for free. Another product that comes in that, we look at the interactive consumable textbooks. If you're aware of those, our kindergarten through 8th grade, our math and science are mostly interactive consumable books that throw away. What are we going to do at the end of 8 years? If a proclamation is not funded, every district's going to have to purchase those materials. You'll be without instructional materials. So there's some gaps in there if you don't budget for it. And no one's sitting here saying, oh, hey, the adoption's going to close. We better save some money. That's not what's in everybody's minds. What's in our minds is we need this now. Let's go buy it. Let's spend our money. So those are just 3 things we want to kind of bring up and hit you guys and let y'all come question. I was going to say one thing. I heard it mentioned several times, adoptions. In Dallas, we have a very transparent adoption process, and you know, we go with what's on the list and as best we can. It's very transparent what we do there. And so just wanted to close that. And you guys, if you have questions, great.
Be good to talk with staff before you leave. I think there's some clarifications about the ending time period and that kind of thing. It'd be good to talk with Monica's sitting right back there. So it'd be good to talk with her. Questions, members? Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you guys coming.